The Netflix live roast of Kevin Hart at the Kia Forum was built to be a chaotic 3-hour marathon of unfiltered insults. But the comedian who dominated the conversation wasn't on the standard roster of modern roasters. ChelseaHandler walked up to the podium and hijacked the night. She took specific and brutal aim at comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, mocking his ties to the MAGA movement and his controversial political rally appearances. She told him he was what happens when women don't have safe access to abortion care. Her set laid bare exactly who she is today, a highly political commentator who uses stand-up as a blunt instrument against her ideological opponents. Then, comedian Shane Gillis stepped up to the microphone and snapped the tension in a completely different direction. During his closing remarks, Gillis delivered a joke that made the entire arena wince, explicitly referencing Handler's attendance at a 2010 dinner party hosted by Jeffrey Epstein. Viewers at home immediately rushed to their phones. A younger generation of fans flooded social media, finding old interviews where Handler had actually confirmed the dinner, and in the process, they unearthed an entire era of her career they knew nothing about. That single exchange at a comedy roast highlighted a massive disconnect. To a 20-something today, Handler is a serious left-leaning activist, but to anyone who owned a television in the late 2000s, she was the undisputed queen of late-night tabloid scandals. Long before she was producing documentaries, Handler hosted a show on the E! Network. For 7 years, she operated as a ruthless television gossip, routinely dragging Hollywood's biggest celebrities through the mud. As internet sleuths dug into those archives, they hit a storyline that felt almost fabricated: her highly publicized 2010 romance with rapper 50 Cent. The pairing baffled the public. She was a politically incorrect comedian. He was a hip-hop mogul with a habit of showering his dates with extravagant, over-the-top gifts. The dynamic produced one legendary story. After watching him constantly roll up to her office in Ferraris and Lamborghinis, Handler decided to match his energy and impulsively bought herself a chocolate-colored Bentley. The punchline arrived shortly after they broke up. Handler realized 50 Cent didn't actually own most of those supercars. He was just renting them for public appearances. She was the only one stuck with a luxury vehicle she didn't want. It was anecdotes exactly like that one that made her a prime subject for the very tabloid magazines she built her show around mocking. Eventually, the daily grind of mocking reality stars took its toll. Handler grew exhausted with the late-night format and actively chose to walk away from her E! empire. She secured a deal with Netflix and pivoted to producing deeply researched, inquiry-driven documentary series. She traded red carpet blunders for heavy cultural issues, traveling the country to explore systemic racism, the strange culture of Silicon Valley, and even turning the camera on herself to dissect her own white privilege. Through these projects, she dismantled her reputation as a gossip provocateur. She began speaking at universities and campaigning for political candidates, solidifying a new identity as an influential political activist. Moving from a tabloid punchline to a respected cultural commentator is a notoriously difficult transition, but she managed to bridge the gap. Which brings us back to the stage at the Kevin Hart roast. The viral clips of her attacking her peers proved that making serious documentaries didn't soften her comedic instincts. It simply gave her a brand new set of political targets. Evolving in comedy is an enormous risk. Comics who try to adopt a more serious tone often lose their edge, leaving their original audience behind while failing to capture a new one. Becoming an activist in Hollywood usually comes with an unwritten expectation. You have to sanitize your image, watch your tone, and start pulling your punches. Handler managed to bypass that rule. She successfully matured into a serious documentary producer, while proving she can still walk into a room and be the most ruthless, unfiltered